This is Sumit here, your drum instructor from WeGotGuru. Today we are going to have some fun and we'll be learning something on the drums. Different types of drums, different parts of drums, the different notes that have been used in drums, and some very introductory and rudimentary lessons on drums. So, I normally suggest and say everyone, before you start playing any musical instrument, it's very important that you should learn a little bit on the history and background of that musical instrument. I am sure after the end of this session, you will be searching Google on the history of drums. And trust me, it will be very interesting. Drums, I'll just give a very brief intro. The concept of drums has started from 6th century BC. And what you see right now has evolved in New Orleans in the year 1920. Now, that complete phrase in between what happened from 6th century BC to 1920, I want you guys to please go to Google and search it in details, because this will help you to actually build up your interest on the particular instrument. Now, since we are talking about drums, it's very important that we should know what are the different parts of drum kit called. Well, for me and my understanding, I have classified the drums parts into two groups. One is the skin section and one is the brass section. The skin section comprises of the snare drum. This is called the snare drum. Why is this called a snare drum? Because under this drum there is a spring. Can you hear it? This is the spring. So this spring is called the snare. That's why this drum is called the snare drum. Coming to the next one, this is the high tom. Why it is called a high tom? Because the pitch or the tone of this tom is highly tuned. This is called the mid tom. The same prism, it's been tuned in a mid frequency to get a mid pitch sound. And this is the low tom, or this is also known as the floor drum or the side tom. You will hear a lot of people saying this is tom 1, this is tom 2, this is tom 3. I would rather suggest everyone to kindly say it as high tom, mid tom and low tom. This is the snare. The most important part of the drum kit is the bass drum. The bass drum is the main backbone. It holds the entire kit. It gives you the time. It gives you the rhythm, the pattern, the bass. Coming to the next group is the brass section. Now the brass section comprises of various kind of things. Starting from the most elementary level is the hi-hat. This is called a hi-hat. These are the cymbals. These are the cymbals. Now cymbals are also classified into various type of cymbals. Like you have crash cymbals. Like for example, here I have today is the crash cymbals. This is the ride cymbal. You will hear plenty of cymbal names. That is, you may have rides, you may have crash, you may have China, you may have splash. You can have a lot of things. This comes in different shapes and sizes and also gives you different tones. So here I introduce to the drums and the names from the very beginning. Starting from left to right is the hi-hat, is the snare drum, is the crash cymbal, high tom, mid tom, again a crash cymbal, a ride cymbal, the low tom or the floor drum, and the bass drum. Now that we know the different parts of the drum kit, it's very important that we should also know different parts of the drum stick. It's the most important thing for you. You also have to know how to hold the stick in your hand. Starting from the very basic part on know your drum stick. This is called the tip or the head. This portion at the top is called the tip or the head. Just the portion a little below is called the neck. A little below it's called the shoulder. And the place from which the sticks become uniform is called the body. Why I have classified this thing? Because each part has got different sound when you play on a drum kit. So starting from the beginning, it's called the head or the tip. Just the part below is called the neck. Just the part below is called the shoulder. and the place from which the stick becomes uniform is called the body. Now the most important point, how to hold the stick in your hand. You have to hold the stick with these two fingers, index and thumb. Once you hold it, it becomes the anchor. It's called the anchor of the stick, so that the stick doesn't move up and down. These three fingers are for the movement of your stick. And remember that your palm should be always facing the ground. Try to make sure that the end of your stick should not cross this line of your palm. You will find many drummers using this kind of techniques, but yes, they are playing with the technique for quite a long time. They have mastered it. Since it's an introductory session, I would like to request all the listeners, all the students to please make sure that the end of your stick should not cross this line of your palm. Now, you all must be wondering how to play the drums, how to play a rhythm in drums, how to play a beat in drums. Now, for every single thing you have notes. Now, different type of notes have different type of meaning. Let me take you through different type of notes. For a very simple understanding, I have written here, to start with, is the whole note. What's a whole note? Let me give you a very simple example. I have written here 1, 2, 3, 4. In a whole note, you only have to play the first note and the rest 2, 3, 4 is silent. So if I have to play the whole note, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest 2, 3, 4 should not be played. It will be only said and only the first note has to be played. Remember one thing, in drums, the most important thing is whatever you say, the same thing you play. And if you can say it, you can play it. Whole note 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So going by simple maths, if I cut the whole in half, it normally becomes a half note. So if it's a half note, the pattern becomes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you only have to play the first and the third note. Then again, what is the half of half? It's a quarter note. So the quarter note, in this you have to play all the notes. So you can see the values are getting doubled. So 1, then 2, then 4. Now, if I add 2 quarter notes, it becomes an 8th note. So this plus sign is called the AND, because I have to make sure between this 1 to 4, I should be adding one more note so that it becomes an 8th note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes, and it is said as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, if I add 2 8 notes or 4 quarter notes, it will become 16th note. Now, you have counting 1, 2, 3, 4. In 8th note, you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The addition is AND to make it 8. Now 16th. That means between 1 and 2, I have to give 4 notes, so that 4 into 4, it makes 16th notes. So here it is 1 E and A. Whatever you see, the same thing you say. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. So this is a very simple demonstration of different type of notes. There are even more notes than this, or different subdivisions of these notes. To know even more, you have to learn more. Now, let's come to some drums playing. I will be showing you some very basic elementary stick works. Stick works are very important for everyone to know, because stick work helps you in your hand control. Let's start off with the most basic stick work. Stick work number one, single stroke roll. What do you understand by the term single? It's one. So it will be one stroke in each hand. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Now, while playing this, you have to maintain some parameters. You have to maintain some factors. Now, I will tell you the parameters one by one. When you are playing the single stroke roll for the first time, there should be few things that has to be kept in your mind. Parameter number one or point number one, the pressure of your both hands should be the same, so that you get identical sound from both the hands. It should not sound like this. It should sound very uniform, same for both the hands. Parameter number two, the lift of the stick. If you're lifting your stick till this much, you have to lift the other stick till this much only. It should not happen like this. If you do like this, there will be a difference of timing. And remember, while playing any kind of drumming pattern, it's very important for you to keep the time, because timing makes the rhythm, timing makes a beat, and most importantly, the timing will make the pattern of the beat sound musical. So let me start off with the single stroke roll, applying all the parameters that I have said. Please remember one thing, speed is something which comes with practice. The more you practice, the more speed you develop. Please do not concentrate on speed now. Concentrate on the correctness, on how you have to play the patterns. So I will try explain you by gradually increasing the speed and then decreasing it gradually. Make sure if you want to copy this, then you have to play only till that speed in which you think you are comfortable and you are playing the right thing. Speed without control is useless. Please make sure in whatever speed you are playing, you should be having a control. This is the best way to practice for the beginners. Coming to stick control, lesson number 2 is the double stroke roll. Double means 2. So 2 strokes in each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please remember one thing, whatever parameters I have said for the single stroke roll should also apply here. And especially for this particular double stroke roll, you have to make sure the 1, 2, 3, 4 counting has to be exactly whatever you say, the same thing you play. If you say 1, 2, 3, 4, you play this. You say 1, 2, 3, 4 and you play, doesn't make sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how it has to be done. The same way, if you want, you can gradually increase the speed and then decrease the speed. Remember to play in that speed in which you think you are comfortable, and you can play with correctness with all the parameters. A small demonstration of increasing the speed and then decreasing it gradually. Coming to stick control, lesson number 3 is the single paradiddle. Now, the single paradiddle is a combination of single stroke and double stroke. In this, you have to play right, left, 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 and the counting should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Most importantly, this particular paradiddle can do wonders if you can play correctly. Also, most importantly, this paradiddle has to be played with proper timing and proper hand pressure. When you say it, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you say, the same thing you play. Now I will try demonstrating you the paradiddle by speeding it up and then gradually bringing it down. Thank you so much for today's session. Stay tuned for more of stick works, more of drum beats. Tuning off, this is Sumit Mukherjee, your drum instructor from WeGotGuru.